The movie opens in the middle of the jungle at night. A man was going somewhere in his car. Suddenly a girl comes in front of his car and starts asking for help. The girl's name is Lance. She was covered in blood and suddenly someone attacks them. The man runs away with his car to escape and takes Lance with. We see a strange man who was holding an axe in his hand. Lance is so scared that she falls unconscious, and when she comes to her senses, she finds a bandage on her eyes. She gets scared again and starts screaming. Later a doctor comes to her and tells her that now you are in the hospital and you are in a safe place, so relax, you don't have to be scared. Then he asks her what happened. Then she starts telling her story here. After this the scene goes from where everything started. There were 4 friends with Lance who were going on a trip called Talon Falls. When they reached Talon Falls there was a very big crowd. They were standing in a long line to watch the Halloween show. A guard comes to them and says, "I think you guys are not from this city, so I can help you. The line of tickets is very long, and it will take hours. That's why I'm giving you special tickets from my side, so your turn comes quickly and you go inside easy." And now after getting the tickets they all go inside. Inside there were different kinds of scary jokers who try to scare them, after which they are sent to a cabin whose name was Death Row, where some strange masked people scare them. Now these 4 reach a place that looked like a jail. They see a man who was sitting on an electric chair, and now as soon as Lance switches on, the man starts getting electric shocks, and he starts screaming in pain. These 4 friends thought that this was all part of the game. There were cameras installed everywhere. That clearly meant that someone was keeping an eye on them. Now Lance and the other 2 friends thought that this was not a game but seemed true. They get scared and stop Lance from doing that, but he was enjoying it. He keeps giving him electric shocks. They reach a strange place where they are locked up. They had found out that they were being watched through cameras. They look at the camera and say, "Get us out of here." A window opens and the girl shown locked up on a chair. She was scared, and she screams asking for help. Man comes wearing a mask and starts hitting that girl. These 4 still thought that this was part of the show. They try to enjoy the game. Now these 4 move forward where Lance takes his friend away, and they were separated from Lance and her friend. They were talking alone when Lance feels that someone is watching them. When she sends Lance to check, he finds a room where guards were talking. After this they wears their mask and they both leave. Lance comes to the room and starts checking everything. He gets some tapes. Apart from this, the whole video of what was happening here was also playing on the TV. In this Lance sees his friends, that a man comes wearing a mask, and attacks both his friends with a hammer and takes them away. On seeing this Lance got scared, but before he could understand anything, a man comes from behind him and grabs him. Seeing this his friend gets scared and starts screaming. She tried to escape but failed. Lance and her friend are locked in different cages. There was a dog outside. The man in the other cage knew how to open the lock, but he was scared of the dog outside. Suddenly a red light turns on, after which the man in the mask comes here and takes a girl out of the cage, and takes her with him. Now the man in the cage says when the red light turns on, the man in the mask comes here and takes a human with him, and if we all want to save ourselves then we have to get out of here. Lance's friend says, all this seemed like a joke or a part of a game. They don't know why are they doing this. The man in the cage says if any can divert this dog, then I can get you all out of here. Lance shows the bread to the dog and tries to divert him. Suddenly the red light turns on again and the other man in the mask comes there, and takes Lance's friend away from there after making him unconscious. The man in the mask sharpens the knife and cuts his ear. He opens the window so the people outside can see this torture. Lance's friend is suffering from pain and was asking for help from them, but obviously they were also considering it a part of the game. The torture gets worse with time. Here inside, Lance's friend with the bread distracts the dog and grabs him. Taking advantage of this, the man in the cage frees himself and breaks all the cameras there. But then the man in the mask comes here and attacks him, and in this fight he takes the keys from the masked man, throws it toward the cage. She quickly picks up the keys and unlocks the door and attacks the man in the mask. He falls unconscious. After this, both the friends run away from there. The man in the cage also tries to run away from here, but the dog doesn't let him run away and grabbed and killed him. The man in the mask still tries to torture the woman in the cage. Lance and her friend try to escape from there, but they see some people in the room who were packing all the tapes in the boxes. It reveals they supply videos of torture. They sell it and money from it. Both friends go to the room where the footage of the cameras were playing. They see that Lance's friend is being tortured. They realize that someone is coming there, so they hide quickly, but by mistake a tape falls from Lance. She is scared. Then as soon as the man goes there to check, someone calls him. He immediately goes to the room with the cage and sees that two girls have run away from him, both the girls searching a way out, and the masked man is following them with an axe. While running away, these girls come to a butcher's shop, where the meat was kept. She hides there, but the masked man had already seen them, and he attacks them. Girls were lucky, somehow she escapes from there. Both of them go to the room to escape, where they find Lance. He was placed on the electric chair. His body was burned because of electricity, but he was still alive, and seeing his condition, her friend tries to save her, but the masked man sees this and immediately turns on the current switch. Along with Lance, the current hits his friend and both dies. Now she was only savior. She tries to escape from there, but the masked man comes in front of her, and as he is about to attack, her leg slips, and she falls into a pipe, which leads her to dead bodies. The masked man was hitting the corpse one by one and moving them to the side. When Lance starts running away from, he follows her. She comes to a place which was a construction site. He is about to kill Lance. Suddenly the roof falls on her. Taking advantage of this, she runs away from there and reaches the road. Here she meets the man who was going by car. The story comes back to the present time, where the doctor tells her that there is no danger now. She removes the blindfold from her eyes, and sees that she is not in a hospital, but at the place from where she ran away. And that man was not a doctor, but the man with the mask who used to torture everyone. And now he opens the window, so that the people standing outside can see this torment. Lance starts screaming, asking for help, and in another story starts from here. With this, the movie ends here. How did you liked it? Don't forget to express your views in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel.